Good evening and welcome into High Top Sports Network. The WPIAL playoffs are here, and we are here at the Hawks Nest Armstrong Junior Senior High School for today's Class 5A bout between the home Riverhawks and the visiting Woodland Hills Wolverines. My name is Joe Rhodes. Joining me tonight is Doug Flanders to my left, and Josh Schreckengoss also to my left. Excited to bring you the action here, and glad you guys could join us on this Tuesday night as the playoffs get in full swing, Doug.
Yeah, there's nowhere where I'd rather be in Armstrong County than right here, Joe. We got the 5-12 matchup. Armstrong 19-3, 9-3 in Section 2. Is going to take on the 12 seed Woodland Hills, 8-4, 11-11 overall from Section 1. Armstrong was co-champs of Section 2. Woodland Hills second place at 8-4 section record in Section 1 behind Indiana.
And like myself, Doug, I did a little bit of research on Woodland Hills. Not as familiar with them as I am with their boys team, as I got a chance to watch them a couple times this year. But certainly the one thing that stands out to me, and I think stood out to you as well, was the size of the Wolverines, and how that will actually be a interesting matchup to watch here tonight. The bigs of the Wolverines and the forwards for the Riverhawks. Certainly that's kind of been the advantage and the one thing that Armstrong has had this year, Doug, and unlike past years. And certainly this might be a matchup where they're not able to exploit that.
Yeah, Woodland Hills, 3 starters over 6 foot, Joe. 6'2", 6'1", and a 6-footer, so listed in the program. So Armstrong is not going to have that size advantage in this contest tonight, so it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. Woodland Hills, very physical. 2 years ago, Joe, these two teams played down at Woodland Hills, and Woodland Hills was the victor. So,
right.
Armstrong's on a little revenge tour here. They got Woodland Hills, and the winner of this contest is going to play the winner of Trinity Latrobe. And interesting enough, Trinity was the team that knocked Armstrong out of the playoffs last year. So I like to say this is a revenge tour for the Riverhawks.
Yeah, everything seems to be lining up for the Riverhawks to go on this quote-unquote revenge tour that you speak of, Doug. All these storylines, a team that seems to be playing their best at the right time. Obviously with Armstrong peaking here down the stretch and hoping they can extend that even further as these WPIAL playoffs begin.
Yeah, for sure. Armstrong definitely playing their best basketball at the right time. 19-3 overall, Joe. That's a heck of a record. That's a heck of a season. And, it looked at one point like they were not going to win that section. And they got it done at the end of the year. They did what they had to do, so that pushed them into that 5 seed. But this is a 5-12 matchup, and we all know, Joe, from NCAA action, 5-12 is a dangerous matchup.
Yeah, it's you can't take your opponent lightly if you're the higher seed, let's say. And Armstrong, I don't think is going to be taking Woodland Hills lightly because of everything you just said there too, Doug. They still have that taste in their mouth from that loss 2 years ago. Maybe some of these players weren't on that team, but they know what took place. They know what happened, and there's enough players on this team to remind those that weren't there.
Yeah, for sure. The girls have been waiting for this day for a long time, and it's finally arrived. So hopefully they can make a deep run here in the WPIAL playoffs.
We're going to turn it over to public address announcer Jake Canish for the national anthem and the starting lineups. He's not actually singing it. He's going to play it.
Do you think he changed the playlist, Joe, for the playoffs?
You want to bet on it?
I'm going to say 0 chance.
Yeah, 0, zilch, none, nada.
WPIAL wishes everyone a positive, exciting, and meaningful championship experience. Follow all the WPIAL action on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at WPIAL7.
The question is, Joe, do I get a T-shirt on playoff nights?
You're going to get one someday. You're going to get a T-shirt one of these days. Josh trying for the shirt. Still trying for everybody. I wish I could turn the camera on to Josh. Josh trying for the better part of 4 years to get a shirt. To no avail, Doug.
They're not even looking up there.
Nope, not going to happen. Kyla's a little taller. Maybe she'll look up here. Nope. Yep, Josh, there's you're 0 for 2. I think you're probably 0 for 150 all time. Nope.
I mean, I'd like to even just to see an attempt.
Oh,
you know.
I think if the shirt's wound up tight enough, you can get it up here. But yeah, they're ignoring Josh. I think that's on purpose, not just because we're up high and we're kind of out of the pit shot. But and another fruitless effort for our man Josh.
Not even a look.
So those were your starting lineups for this WPIAL Class 5A first round matchup between the Wolverines and the Armstrong Riverhawks, presented by Olson Chiropractic. Thanks to Dr. Ryan Olson and his staff in West Katanning for sponsoring tonight's broadcast.
16 teams in 5A, Joe. And here's what's interesting. After tonight, there will be 8, and 7 of those 8 will make the state playoffs, Joe. Yep. 7 of them. That's crazy for 5A.
Yep. I'd be remiss, Doug, if I don't mention quickly, you told me that you're a big fan of the place, and this is a Margarita's Grill and Bar night on High Top Sports Network.
Joe, it's one of my new favorite places, man. I feel like I eat there once a week. I'm going to tell you what to get. Get the chimichangas, Joe.
I am a big fan of chimichangas. So
beef or chicken, you can't go wrong.
Right up.
Love margaritas.
Right up my alley, and they begin with the Wolverines having the basketball here. They'll be moving to your right. Dump inside, double team over, up off the glass, and still good. Able to maneuver around the double team was number 1, Hope Hawkins, and that's the kind of the A number 1 as far as the bigs on this team, Doug, and that's a good sign if you're Woodland Hills.
Yep. 2 old Wolverines right out of the gate, and then they get a steal, Joe.
And that ball poked away, and a thrown ahead up off the glass, and good.
4-0.
Beautifully done as well. That pass was right on the dot, and finding another one of those tall weapons. That time it was Cameron Vasquez.
Yeah, just the start the Wolverines wanted. You know, they're on the road. They come out here and they got 2 quick hoops. And there's Emma Paul.
All in the lane, up off the glass, back rim, no good. It's loose, and that'll be out to the Wolverines, who get out on a fast break again. But good defense there by Yancey, and a jump ball called. Give credit there to Olivia Yancey to prevent the shot by Vasquez, but really still I think the overarching theme here, Doug, not a great start for the Riverhawks and a great start for the Wolverines.
Yeah, and now you're seeing a press, Joe. So Wolverines are going to put the pressure on.
Indeed, kind of a soft press, which the Riverhawks are able to break easily. Nice dump off there to Sarai Weaver. She goes up off the glass, and good, nice no-look pass from Emma Paul to find Sarai Weaver and get the Riverhawks on the board. So 4-2, Armstrong off the schneid. Di Gregorio guarding point, which is Kayla Walter. That's going to be Vasquez, who's driving the lane, and whistle blows. Reach and foul there. Looks like it's going to go against either Yancey or Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Armstrong just needs to get control of this ball game. You know, they're the higher seed. They're at home.
And you get a little excited and start kind of moving faster than you need to, and that seems to be what, at least from the eye test here, that was the case for the Riverhawks. As Fitzgerald's able to poke that one away and get it over to Yancey in the outlet. Yancey gets it to Paul. Paul's throwing it across court. Here's Di Gregorio, puts up the 3, rattles around.
Wow. Can't believe that didn't go down, Jay. That was a set play there. That was really nice.
Nice hesitation there in the lane. And that's a great call. The charge is going to go against, I believe that was Jalen Wilson, and she'll be whistled for her first foul. And Doug, if you haven't noticed already, you can tell that Woodland Hills wants to get that ball out. There are a couple long outlet passes after getting the defensive rebound, and that's something I think Armstrong's done better with, but they still have to kind of keep an eye on because some easy opportunities here thus far for the Wolverines as a result. Nice pass there by Paul.
That's what Emma Paul does. She sets up her teammates, and Sarai Weaver is the recipient, 4-4.
2 no-look dishes from Emma Paul to Sarai Weaver. How the Riverhawks are on the scoreboard here. And the 4-0 run now countered by the Riverhawks with a 4-0 run of their own as we near the 5:30 mark here in quarter number 1, Class 5A girls basketball. First round action here at Armstrong Junior Senior High School. Paul up in the lane, no good. Certainly some contact.
Oh, wow.
Smile on her face, but she'll be smiling even more after Sarah Weaver strips that one away and puts it up and in. So the Riverhawks now up by 2.
Took it right off her, Joe. Sarah Weaver 6, Woodland Hills 4.
Yeah, 6-0 run by the Riverhawks.
Oh, nice step back.
Nice step back indeed, front rim. Emma Paul able to track it down. The Riverhawks looking to extend that 6-0 run. And
look at this.
Going to have a good chance at it as Sarah Weaver goes up off the glass. Fouled and good. A nice play there.
Probably the best start for Sarah Weaver here all season, Joe. I mean, give credit to Emma Paul for setting her up. But man, Sarah making her layup. She came to play. Good for her.
Yeah, using that shot fake there, and that's what really got that foul against her, Doug.
Yeah.
That got the defender off her feet, and as a result, fouled her, and she was able to get it to go. So she's going to try to get the three-point play the old-fashioned way here with 4:57. Side rim no good, but Fitzgerald there to track it down. Another opportunity for the Hawks. Paul's going to follow that screen. She's going to dump it in perfectly to Fitzgerald, who's fouled, and she's going to get the N1 opportunity now. Great job there by Kyla Fitzgerald to maintain that balance and get it to go.
All of a sudden, Joe, 10-4 Armstrong. You know, not a great start, and then they come out and they're blitzing Woodland Hills right now.
You got to love that, Doug, the resilience there.
Good to see Kyla getting one early, too.
And keep in mind, a lot of these are coming off the terrific passing of Emma Paul. Fitzgerald able to get that one to go. 11-4 now. The Riverhawks on an 11-0 run. I want to say that every bucket that the Riverhawks have made here so far has been off an assist from Emma Paul. So.
Yeah, I believe so. You know, Woodland Hills is a basketball powerhouse, Joe. Boys and girls. I mean, this school knows how to play, and there's a steal.
Fitzgerald not seeing the player behind her, and she comes out of nowhere and pokes that one away. Dump inside now, and foul called. Close, much to the chagrin of the Armstrong fan base. They're going to see Fitzgerald whistle with a foul. I want to say that's her first, excuse me.
Yeah, Woodland Hills is going to be physical, Joe. You know, that's something that Kyla is not used to, someone trying to post her up. You know, it's as big as she is.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw there.
Fellow junior Hope Hawkins able to get that one to go. And you can tell that when that lane, to throw that bounce pass down to Hawkins is there, they want to get it to her. We've seen it a couple times. She was able to get the first bucket of the game to go, despite a double team, did Hawkins. 4:19 left. Hawkins
she makes both.
Shooter's roll on that one. And that ends the 11-0 Armstrong run. Score 11-6, 4:15 left. Riverhawks with the basketball here in quarter number 1. A little bit of a zone defense now shown by Woodland Hills, and you would see if you watched any film on them, they like to kind of go back and forth. Good shooting teams. You know, they seem to use that against strong shooting teams, Doug. And
yeah, for sure. You know, Armstrong, they just have to play their game. If Armstrong plays their game, Joe, they're going to be fine tonight. I can tell the way this game has already started. You know, yeah, you have Allensworth at the line, so getting a variety of players to score, getting a variety of players involved in the game. Armstrong has the deeper team. If you look at the benches, and the Riverhawks are going to use that to their advantage. So Callie's able to make the first, and she makes the second. So good sign there. Callie Allensworth making both. 13-6 Riverhawks.
There's that depth of the Riverhawks as far as the forward position's concerned, Doug.
Wow. Crazy shot there, Joe.
Off the mark. Riverhawks keep it to one shot. They're back with the basketball. 3:30 left, first quarter play. They lead by 7. Led by as many as, well, I think, 7's their largest lead, I want to say.
There it is. Emma Paul, deep three.
Her strong start continues. That's kind of the sign you want to see. She's dishing the ball off perfectly as that ball's tied up. Nice job. The Riverhawks doing a good job of collapsing on that post up by Hawkins. It will stay here, though, with the Wolverines. But, when Emma Paul knocks down her first shot like that after, being a distributor for most of this first quarter, that's a welcome sign for her.
She can do it all, Joe. We know this. Everybody knows this. Look at Woodland Hills going inside.
Yep.
I mean, that's definitely part of their game plan tonight is to go inside. They're not afraid of Armstrong's size.
Yeah. If you watch any Wolverines basketball this year, that's kind of their first look. They want to look down low, and if it's not there, they'll keep moving the basketball and flash those bigs, sometimes high post, and put them in positions to get the basketball in the paint. Unfortunately, in that instance, Hawkins misses the front end. Her team trailing by 10. Second shot up for the junior, no good. Nice box out there by Sarai Weaver.
Yeah, missed two there, Joe.
So that's not what you want to see if you're Woodland Hills. Armstrong doing well at the free throw line here early on. And 0 for on that trip for the Wolverines. Senior Olivia Yancey with the basketball, gets back to the point. Armstrong, no hurry here. Paul's going to get it in the corner.
Too easy, Joe. That's too easy.
And it's good. Emma Paul knocking down her second three of this first quarter, and the Riverhawks lead 19-6.
I can attest this from softball, Joe. Big games, Emma Paul steps up, and she's really having a heck of a game right now, Joe.
Yeah, you can definitely attest to that, Doug. Emma Paul is shortstop on Doug's back-to-back PIAA championship game teams here the last 2 years here at Armstrong. Emma Paul, a right arm just as good as her jumper.
For sure. Wow, 19 points, Joe, and still 2:21 left to play. Armstrong has done whatever they wanted here in this first quarter.
Yeah, it was a scary start for Armstrong. Fell behind 4-0. It looked very sloppy on their part, but after that, really since then, Doug, they've been rather sharp. The only thing that really has been a kind of a weakness so far, if you want to even call it that, is just the ability of Woodland Hills to get the ball down low to the player they want to get it to, and that's Hope Hawkins.
Yep. This is danger time for Woodland Hills. They're in danger of getting blown out here. So they really are going to have to get it together. 19-6. And we've seen, Armstrong get off to a good start in games in the past. So let's see what kind of adjustments Woodland Hills made. I think that was a good timeout by their coach.
Yeah, and this Margarita's Grill and Bar game night on High Top Sports Network. The Riverhawks might have to have a fiesta after this.
Nice. Oh, nice backdoor.
Yeah, another great pass by who else but Emma Paul, finding DiGregorio just a little bit hard off the glass.
Nice pass.
Up inside, up and no good, but a second chance. The third chance, possibly. A fourth chance, and an over-the-back call. Bella Yancey's laughing because she was just kind of out-jumped there and got positioned by default because that ball just kept going up, and as a result, the foul's going to go against Hope Hawkins, who...
Yeah, looked like volleyball, Joe. This is basketball season, huh?
Yeah, we're one season late on that one. The boys volleyball starting up here shortly. Reverse to Yancey. That one tipped away. And
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. Good job there by...
Fortunate.
Yeah, the Riverhawks, they were going to let that one go, but give credit to Wilson, the hustle there trying to save it, but Riverhawks will maintain possession. 1:39 left first quarter. The home team in white, leading by 13.
I don't know what Armstrong's high quarter in points are, but if they're going to get in the 20s here, this could be a good time for it. Nope, short.
Good defense there by Vasquez. We knew going into this game, she's a strong defender. They being Woodland Hills, they are okay with that matchup down low. Vasquez up off the glass and good over Allensworth. A nice play there going left.
Nice left hand, Joe.
Yep. So now down to an 11-point Armstrong advantage. Again, I don't know if you'll see a a better forward matchup in this 5A playoff than the one you're seeing here tonight. That one's off the foot of Vasquez, and it's going to stay here with the Riverhawks. Tough break there for Vasquez. Out goes Kyla Fitzgerald and Bella Yancey. In comes Olivia Yancey and Sarai Weaver for the Riverhawks. Also coming back in for Woodland Hills is number 10, one of the starters tonight for these Wolverines, Sierra Guest, a senior. Shot from the corner, DiGregorio well long on that one.
Here comes Woodland Hills on the attack, Joe. Wow, nice
crossover.
crossover.
Up off the glass, just a bit hard. Give credit to Sarai Weaver to knock that one away. She's been feisty here tonight.
Yeah, Sarah, this has been Sarah's best quarter of the year, Joe.
And it's been that stuff right there, Doug.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the points that she's registered, but getting a body and a hand in the lane sometimes, and using her hands. And right there, as a result, Riverhawks get the ball back on the jump ball. So 35 seconds left. Armstrong, as Doug mentioned a moment ago, somewhere around, you have to imagine their season high for a quarter.
Yeah.
19 right now. And they're going to hold for the last shots. If they could pull that off, they would be in the 20s. Can't recall first quarter they got into the 20s that we've been here, Doug.
That's what I mean. I got to feel like this is their high quarter of the year if they can get 20 in the first quarter.
Paul sneaking through traffic there. Gets it off to Yancey. She puts up the three. No good. Loose ball. And that's going to do it for quarter number one here on this Margaritas Grill and Bar Game Night on High Top Sports Network and the Trib Live High School Sports Network. First quarter score, Armstrong 19, Woodland Hills 8.
Yeah, just a dominant quarter by the Riverhawks after that maybe first two possessions, Joe. Really took control of the quarter. Great start. You couldn't ask for anything more if you're Armstrong.
Yeah, again, I'll repeat what I said earlier. That 4-0 start was very sloppy by the Riverhawks, and you're kind of holding your breath there for a couple minutes there, Doug. But after that, they really picked it up and did the little things and kind of caused havoc. Again, the only thing that I feel like the Wolverines can hang their hat on right now is they are getting ball down low. When they do, their attempts are looking pretty strong.
Yeah, definitely the game plan for Woodland Hills, pound it in the paint, use those bigs. And when they've done that, they have been successful. We saw several rebounds on that one possession, Joe. They didn't get it in the hoop, but they're tough inside.
Yeah, they're not making hay right now at the Armstrong Indoor Athletics free throw line tonight. The free throws tonight sponsored by AIA, Armstrong Indoor Athletics, but it's the little things, especially when it comes to the time for the postseason, Doug. Who's going to turn the ball over less? Who's going to take advantage of their opportunities at the free throw line? That's what the postseason is kind of predicated on. And Armstrong, the team that's checking the boxes in those categories here thus far.
Okay, quarter number two. If the Riverhawks can put up another 19-8, they're going to feel really good here, Joe.
Also want to quickly thank tonight's scoreboard sponsor, Clunan & Associates, CPA consulting, audit, and tax firm, right in Ford City. It's tax season, so
nice.
Go to our friends at Clunan & Associates.
You can't put it in the basket for them, Joe. You can draw it up, and they have to execute. Woodland Hills not executing right now. They're not finishing. They're in good position. They're just not finishing.
Paul with a step around somehow, getting through traffic. She misses it, but wow, heck of an attempt. And there's that great down court passing by Woodland Hills. Oh, that was. And that's not somebody you want to see landed on both teams with probably their best players, respectively, a part of that pile-up.
That looked dangerous there, Joe. I'm glad she's okay. Man.
Yeah, both players okay. And the whole crowd here collectively taking one big sigh of sigh.
You could hear it from the crowd.
Woo! Both sides. Yeah, that was, of course, Hope Hawkins for the Wolverines, who took a tumble, and then Emma Paul on the bottom of that one.
I think the officials are a little confused, Joe. They don't know who the foul is on. They don't know who should be shooting.
And I'm going to say it going against Emma Paul. Coach Caliper not happy about it. So that's the fourth team foul for Armstrong that's the fifth foul. Or no, I'm sorry, that was fourth. My eyes did not deceive me. So one of their bigger lineups right now for the Wolverines. They got, wow. A nice
Crafty, Joe. Crafty. That's like old school.
That was a pretty play there by Wilson, able to step through traffic. And what I was saying there, Doug, a big lineup in right now for Woodland Hills. You got the combination of course, Guest and Hawkins, along with number 24, the aforementioned Vasquez. Nice pass there. And Sarah Weaver now into double figures already here with 6:46 left in the second quarter. If I would have told you that Sarah Weaver would be in double figures this early in the game, Doug, I think you'd say that Emma Paul's having a heck of a night passing the basketball, and that's been the case.
Yeah.
There's a shot but blocked. Nice job there by Fitzgerald.
Gotta love those right-hand layups, Joe.
Another nice pass right there, big to big. Vasquez able to find her counterpart in the post.
Very impressive both ways, getting the ball to the hoop.
You know, it's just a fundamentally sound game. Oh, Fitzgerald loses the handle. She had a chance at it, puts it off the glass, no good, and rebounded by Hawkins. Again, another quick outlet pass by the Wolverines. Oh, wow. What a nice strip there by Fitzgerald. Hawkins had to do a little bit of a double take there. She didn't know how that ball got taken away so easy.
A magician there, the wizard.
Wow, very nice defensive play there, but loose ball again. And we're going to have another jump ball as a result.
You can see the fight out of both of these teams, Joe. They're not afraid to get on the ground. They're not afraid to scrap. I mean, it's a heck of a ball game here so far.
First round, of course, of these WPIAL playoffs. Paul's going to shoot another three from the corner. That's going to be short off the front rim and tracked down by the nifty ball-handling Jalen Wilson, who fakes the pass and goes up with it, and she's fouled. That's a good foul by Yancey, as she was had the defense on their heels there, Doug.
Jayla Wilson, really shifty, Joe. I mean, she just head fakes and crossover and behind the back. I mean, she's got it all. Yeah, she's got it all.
The hesitation certainly a couple times here tonight gotten the Armstrong defenders kind of left them guessing as Bella Yancey comes in for DiGregorio.
Another miss from the foul line, Joe. I believe that's 3 in a row. So this game could be a lot closer if Woodland was hitting their free throws.
Yep, we talked about that. This is the time of year that those need to be going in. She's able to get the second one to go, does Wilson. Score now 21-13 in favor of the Riverhawks. 5:33 left, second quarter. Paul in the corner again, maybe thought about shooting, but another nice pass. That one taken away, but then
guess who, Joe?
Sarah Weaver is going to be fouled, and she'll go to the line and shoot a pair. I believe that's going to be the sixth foul against the Wolverines. So that means the Riverhawks, with every foul upcoming over the final 5:21, they'll have the 1-and-1.
You know, Joe, I'm unsure of what Sarah Weaver's career high is.
She might beat it in the first half, but
she's already at 11, and I mean, we still got almost the whole second quarter here to go. So
I remember she had a big game last year when she was right around that time she was banged up. Violation. And that's going to go against Kyla Fitzgerald. Doug?
I don't understand why you would even need to move, really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. 22-13.
Yep, as your Clunan and Associates scoreboard reads, 22-13 indeed, 5:10 left. And Armstrong with another takeaway. That's Paul coming out of the pile with it. She thinks about looking ahead to, but she ends up kicking it back now. That's Bella Yancey knocking it down.
Yeah, Bella Yancey, you know, a very quiet hero on this team. She's had a great year, Joe. I really like her game a lot. She's got a bright future here for these Riverhawks.
Yeah, the nice piece to round out your lineup there, because you know kind of what you have in your forwards that get a lot of run, and that being Fitzgerald, Sarah Weaver, and Allensworth, and then the guard play, of course, is going to start with Emma Paul and Olivia Yancey, the senior and the junior. And then after that, you need the DiGregorios and the Bella Yanceys to kind of play that role you kind of spoke of there, Doug, and she's kind of emerged as this year has gone on. Foul against the Riverhawks, Doug.
Yeah, that was Kayla Walter, number 3. She's a senior for Woodland Hills, Joe. I really like her game, too. Like, she's really quick to the hole. She likes to use her head fake there. It was a nice move.
Yeah, there's a quick shot off the inbound. No rotation on that ball. It was kind of a knuckler. A foul.
Fortunate foul because Liv Yancey had a layup there, Joe.
Yeah, a smart foul there by the aforementioned Kayla Walter. That'll send Yancey to the line for the 1-1. So I think this is going to be probably a slow, if I'm going to guess here, Doug, a slow-moving remainder of the second quarter now with both teams and 1-1 territory.
Yeah, a lot of fouls in this game, Joe. You know, sometimes we do games up here and it's like they just let them play, bang each other. I'm watching this game and there's a lot of fouls being called.
Bella Yancey with some terrific hustle. What a play there.
There's Sarai Weaver. The ball's finding her, Joe.
What nice hustle there. Yancey clearly behind the Woodland Hills player, able to kind of scoot around her and to make that excellent save as she was leaping out of bounds.
No, got to put something on that.
Yep, just kind of lob that in. Woodland Hills gets in between the pass. Here's a nice drive and off the glass and good once again. The aforementioned Jalen Wilson showing off the moves, getting to the basket.
She has that spin on her ball too. She's able to put some English on it and get that to spin in every time. So
back down to single digits now. Woodland Hills having a nice little run here, but Emma Paul silences that with a three from the top of the arc.
Not today, Joe. Emma Paul's on her game today. Look at that. She's quietly up to 9 now. Oh, wow.
And I don't know there. Oh, I think there was a switch. That's why you saw Sarai Weaver kind of shaking her head there. I think it was a switch, and she assumed that her original player was still being guarded by someone else, and turns out that person switched back. So as a result, she had a foul.
Fortunate that Woodland was unable to finish that, Joe.
So that will send Weaver to the bench. In comes Fitzgerald, and Bella Yancey goes out, and then comes DiGregorio. One more upcoming for Cameron Vasquez, who's had a nice night as well. Ooh, looked like a lane violation there. Nothing called.
Yeah, they're getting in there early, Joe. You're not supposed to go in there until it hits the rim, I believe.
That's what they keep telling me.
But we kind of see them getting in there early. Oh, wow.
Nice defense there by Wilson, and the foul is going to go against the Riverhawks. It's going to be Paul holding up Wilson, who I said that's Emma Paul's first, yeah, so don't really have to worry about Emma Paul as far as fouls. Again, a very different looking team whenever she's not able to help with her efforts, but really, I think there's only been one game I can remember this year for Armstrong where Emma Paul was really in the kind of foul trouble that was taking her out of the game.
Probably the game against Fox Chapel where every Riverhawk was in foul trouble.
Yeah.
Clutch free throw there, Joe.
Yeah, the strong play of Jalen Wilson.
We have 3 girls on the Woodland Hills side with 6 points, Joe, for 18.
There's a lot of balance. This team gets it in different ways. You see Wilson getting to the bucket, showing off those nice moves, and she knocks down the second, Doug. And of course, those forwards, and then you mentioned also Walter, nice player as well for these Wolverines, who now creeping back into this one, down by 8, but Paul puts up a 3. Wow, nothing but buckets for Emma Paul.
Emma Paul,
Expect
all net, Joe. All net. She hasn't even hit the rim on these shots. Look at what.
Nice handoff, but swatted away by Kyla Fitzgerald. Nearly errant pass. You can tell nerves are certainly a part of this one, Doug. It's you just kind of see it sometimes, and both these teams having, I guess you could say, episodes of nervousness. But as Yancey puts up the deep 3, goes off the hands of 2 Riverhawks and trickles out to the Wolverines. 2:45 left. Nice job by Yancey to get in front of that pass. And again, the trend continues. Wolverines want to get that ball out, Doug.
Yep. You know, you look up the scoreboard, you see Emma Paul, high scorer in the game with 12, Joe. And she set up all these other girls.
Yeah, she's going to be close to 7 assists. A little bit of contact there, nothing doing. As Yancey went baseline, came to a jump stop and put up the quick jumper. Putting up a quick jumper of her own was Wilson. No good, back rim. Paul gathers it in. Numbers for the Riverhawks. Back, though, are the Wolverines, but up to play defense was Wilson, and as a result, DiGregorio sneaks behind the Wolverines and gets it to go. Another assist for Emma Paul. So, Doug, you said that they're she's already in double figures points-wise. She's got to be close to double figures in assists.
She's going to have a double-double here in the first half, Joe. This is crazy. Armstrong, I believe this is their biggest lead of the ball game now, 13, Joe. Woodland was winning the second quarter for a good while, but not anymore. Armstrong now, like I said, with that 13-point spread, they have their biggest lead.
I had the pleasure to talk to one of my favorite human beings, Ray Bartha, last night, and I talked to him and I said, please come up to the booth and spend some time with us up here. And I told him I'd come down and try to find him, so maybe at halftime I'll go wrangle the gentleman who owns 579 wins and 30-plus years of coaching, one of the all-time greats, Hall of Famer. What's a cooler honor, Doug? I had this conversation with him last night. Making whatever your county Hall of Fame is, or getting the court or gym named after you. Wow. Because Ray Bartha has both of those right now at Spring Church.
The court I think would be pretty special. You know what I mean? Like
you can only have one name on it. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like there's not too many people that have names on their court. You know what I mean?
So back to the action here. 2:06 remaining. Woodland Hills with the basketball. Armstrong showing a little bit of press of their own. Looks like a sort of 2-2-1.
Interesting.
Yeah, you don't see them press too often, but the passing strong by Woodland Hills.
Wow.
But no good, and Armstrong fighting over the ball with each other. Fitzgerald and Allensworth clearly both had an opportunity to get it, but they didn't notice that the person fighting for it was their teammate. So now,
fortunate Woodland did not score there, and then fortunate for Woodland, and Armstrong did not rebound there. So
under 2 minutes to play here, second quarter. Shot from the corner.
Wow.
Good. Showing some outside skill along with her post presence. Cameron Vasquez gets it to go, and game back within 10 now, Doug.
Yeah. Woodland's here to play.
Nice shot fake by Belliganti, but forcing another pass down low. You know, that's
a tough pass, Joe. You don't have the angle there. You got to create the angle before you can do that.
Especially at this stage of the second quarter. You could have kind of held there for maybe even the last shot, but instead the Wolverines get the basketball. They push it down the court, and Walter draws a foul, so she'll shoot the 1-and-1. The foul goes against DiGregorio. It's the 9th foul for the Riverhawks here in this first half.
Big miss. Keep it at 10.
Ooh, nearly an over the back.
Wow.
But a nice move in the post. Can't get it to go, and a foul called. These Wolverines are just feasting on the glass right now. A couple instances where they've got more than just a second chance opportunity, Doug. It's been a third and a fourth.
They've missed so many bunnies in this game, Joe. I mean, they're right there. They're just unable to finish. And there's another case. You know, they couldn't finish, and now they missed the free throw.
Yeah, the first shot by Sierra Guest, no good. Out goes DiGregorio for the Riverhawks. Guest will have one more upcoming. Trying to help the Guests on the scoreboard, and she does with that second free throw. Back down to a 9-point Armstrong advantage, 1:14 left. Paul with the basketball, joined by Fitzgerald. That young lady, Marlo Mellish, short on the shot, and then Allensworth at the rebound, and the only other Riverhawk name on that possession was Nancy, and Paul with a foul. You don't want to see that happen with a minute left. That's now 2 for her, so.
Crazy sequence, Joe, and it's shooting. It's double bonus.
Again, the Armstrong has done a good job guarding in the half court, but whenever the Wolverines get the defensive board, they turn and find the outlet man, and they get out and go, Doug. And that's been something that the Riverhawks have kind of struggled with here in this first half, as Walters knocks down the first free throw.
Yeah, Walter has a good-looking free throw there, Joe. So this is not a girl you want on the foul line if you're Armstrong.
Yeah, Doug, I was going to ask you, what do you tell your team maybe at halftime to defend that better? And obviously you're going to say get back on defense, but
well, you got to make sure the one girl is always back. So if your point guard Emma is driving, one of the opposite guards has to stay back. They can't all crash. Oh,
and a still Walter. She's going to have another chance, and Paul backs
let her go because that was going to be number 3.
And just like that, a 5-point lead for the Riverhawks, finishing strong in this half and possibly building momentum for the second half are these Wolverines. 30 seconds left, and they've quickly turned what was a 13-point advantage. No one home for Paul in the pass.
Yeah, this is the closest Woodland has been all game long, Joe. They're on a nice little run here.
Doug, it could have been more than, 45 seconds ago, a minute at most, that the Riverhawks were up by 13.
Yeah.
You were talking about the largest lead they had of the night, and here we are with 26 seconds left. The Wolverines back with the basketball and trailing by just 5. Unbelievable.
Double bonus for Woodland.
A total of 17 fouls in this first half, 10 of which picked up by the Riverhawks.
Wow, do they attack, Joe?
They do, but it missed again on those bunnies you talked about. Another miss. Fitzgerald tips it out. Another opening up off the glass, no good. Ball off the hands of the Riverhawks. So even when they are able to get to it, they're fumbling over it or fighting over it with each other. So just a couple of tough breaks there, but the Riverhawks have to do a better job of getting in front of these Wolverines.
3 shots, Joe. They had 3 shots there, couldn't put it in. 2 seconds.
We've seen a couple instances of that so far, Doug. It's not the first for sure.
Only 2 seconds. Here we go.
Deep pass.
That's not going to do it, Joe.
Not going to do it. And that is how things will end. A much different outcome in that second quarter than what we saw in the first. Woodland Hills coming on strong at the end, cutting down a 13-point Armstrong advantage with a little over a minute and a half to play, down to just 5 points. The score, Armstrong 32. The Wolverines of Woodland Hills 27.
How about this, Joe? Armstrong outscored Woodland Hills 19-8 in the first quarter. Woodland Hills outscored Armstrong 19-13 in the second quarter.
It felt that way, Doug. I think it started and finished with their ability to get out and go in the fast break. You know, for a team of size too, I think that's what's impressive about them. They're not afraid to get out and play that transition game.
Yeah, you know, if they would have made a few more of their layups, Joe, I mean, this could be easily a tie ball game right now. They just got to finish at the hoop. I mean, if you're Woodland Hills, you're saying, hey, we're getting everything we want. We just got to put the ball in the basket. If you're Armstrong, you know, take care of the ball and don't foul so much.
Yeah, it's been kind of back and forth. You know, really Armstrong had that tough start, fell behind 4-0, and then they went on an 11-0 run themselves in that first quarter, and kind of maintained control. And you saw whenever Woodland Hills would have those brief spurts, Doug, of kind of a little bit of a punch back. You saw Emma Paul knock down a couple threes in those instances to kind of, you know, show that they weren't going to let we're going to let go of the lead easily. But this most recent little stretch here for Woodland Hills, where they've, cut that lead more than in half in very short order, really could give them some confidence as they come out for the final 16 minutes of this WPIAL Class 5A first round bout. Brought to you by your favorite Mexican Margaritas in downtown Catania. Make sure you stop in there today. I want to thank them for their great support today. We really appreciate it and are grateful for all of our sponsors. And I want to mention all of them here quickly, if I may, Doug. Clunan Associates, you see them on our scoreboard. Tax season, you know who to go to. AIA Armstrong Indoor Athletics, we tell you about them all the time. If you're a baseball or softball player in the area and you need to get your cuts in, that's the best place. I want to say the only place, because that's my opinion. Again, Margaritas Grill and Bar, the official broadcast partner tonight of High Top Sports Network and this WPIAL Class 5A playoff game. Shop and save. Make sure you rack up them fuel perks. And again, they want you to know they're open 24/7. So whenever you think the only place to get gas in town is Sheetz, you are wrong, my friend. You can go to Shop and Save and get your gas late. And I passed that, obviously, Doug, going back to High Top headquarters a lot of times. And it's a nice little convenient thing to do because we get out of these games late sometimes. And it's nice to know that our friends over at Shop and Save have our backs.
For sure.
I also want to thank Dr. Ryan Olson and his staff at Olson Chiropractic, West Katanning. They made a nifty little graphic. We had this for basketball season, Doug, and I'm forgetting that I have these. But I did something similar to what I did last year. Oh, I have no idea what's not coming up. Well, that's a bummer. But,
Joe, you had me all excited.
Oh, there it is. There we go. I had a football one, now I'm doing a basketball one, a block. Shooter, Payne, Olson Chiropractic with the block.
Nice.
So make sure,
nice touch, Joe.
For all your chiropractic needs, you stop and visit our friends over at Olson Chiropractic. And last but certainly not least, one of our long-standing supporters, a good friend of ours here on the High Top Sports Network, our friends at, oops, I got to maneuver it here. I'm trying to pat my head and rub my tummy. Ryan Bowser State Farm, like a good neighbor. RB is your man. Ryan Bowser State Farm in Ford City. Doug, you're laughing. Pat the head rubbing tummy thing.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Joe. I never heard you say that one.
Yeah, people forget that they think we're just up here and have a headset on and just kind of talking and going through what it is that they hear out there. And little do they know, we're multitasking like crazy people. So if I don't make sense at times, that's why. I actually don't have, I haven't had a stroke. What's that?
Oh, no, that's just Jeff Chauncek here in the crowd here looking up there at us, Joe. So I want to give Jeff Chauncek a shout-out. Good to see him here supporting the girls.
Yeah,
all kind of alumni, all kind of teachers here, Joe. It's nice to see a pretty full crowd here on the Armstrong side.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because you guys out there watching, you only get to see that far side.
Right.
But what's right below us, I almost wish that they would flip
the home crowd was on the other side.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Because what's right below us, as Doug said, much more filled than what you're seeing on your screen, where the away folks typically sit. And also see Bruce Bailey sitting back there with
Mike Nagy.
Yep. Armstrong County Hall of Famer. Got inducted a couple years ago.
Saw Ed Cutt sneaking in here, Joe. Big-time basketball guy.
Yep. Yeah, there's a nice variety, like you said, past and present here tonight, coming to cheer on the Riverhawks, which is always great to see. You love seeing your alumni still supporting the program. Doug, I guess what's your give me your big adjustment. I will say this is your second half adjustment brought to you by Ryan Bowser State Farm, like a good neighbor. Ryan Bowser State Farm is there. What's your...
I thought you were going to say Olson Chiropractic for the adjustment, Joe.
Oh!
But anyway, if you're Armstrong, take care of the basketball. Do not force passes and do not foul. Make sure you're back on defense. If Emma Paul is going to drive and attack, the guards need to the other guards need to stay back, the off guards, and that's not what's happening. If you're Woodland Hills, keep pounding the ball inside. When you get in there, take your time, finish your layup. Okay? Foul trouble. No one has three, Joe, but there's been a lot of fouls in this game. You got to make your free throws.
And you start getting nervous if you pick up that third early in the third quarter.
I think Woodland Hills, I think they're happy. They're down 5, but I would think they're probably happy right now at the half.
Yeah, I think you'd much rather have that run you saw at the end of the second half when they did, rather than maybe have that a little bit earlier and then kind of sputter to the halftime break. But they were looking sharp, and I think looking their best. Sometimes that can be a bad thing too. You talk about teams that say they didn't want the clock to stop; they wanted to keep playing and keep that momentum. But others able to kind of keep that and harness it as they after the stoppage. So we'll see what is in store here in the second half. But right now the score is 32-27 in favor of the home Riverhawks here on this Margaritas Grill and Bar.
We're going to have to go to Margaritas, Joe.
You getting hungry me talking about it?
Yeah, you're getting me wanting to go there.
I like just a variety there too. You can get. I'm trying to remember the names escaping me. Josh is here. Josh, remember you can get like pick 2 or 3 items.
Burrito, enchilada. What is it, Joe?
Yeah, you can just pick it's like multiple items. You can get like
tacos,
burrito, enchilada,
chimichanga.
Yeah.
Oh, the Tres Amigos.
Raymond Bertha is in the house. How are you, Ray? Yes, we were asking. We were talking about you. Have a seat. Papa Scott, Ray Bertha in the house. Hey, Paul's talking. Let's get this guy a microphone.
Here's you want my set?
Yeah, we'll talk to Ray here.
Good to see you.
Ray Bartha, another year in the postseason. Ray, you know this because you're a smart guy and you remember all these stats. How many playoff bursts in your coaching career? Throw these on. I feel like I know. Here, throw them on, Ray. You're running for folks that didn't know, Ray was on a baseball broadcast with me this year. He was my color guy for an Apollo Ridge baseball game, and I'd like to think that you killed it.
Yeah, I sure did. I don't know why I wasn't hired back after that.
Well, you're too busy golfing in Myrtle Beach. That's the problem. You're always golfing in these exotic places. It's hard to schedule you when you're.
Well, you know what? You have to get some free time and enjoy things. So golf is that outlet I need. When basketball gets too stressful.
I can appreciate that because I would say my big outlet after basketball and enjoying basketball is golf. And it stinks being a Pennsylvanian, though. We don't have it for so many months. But, Ray, we were actually talking about you up here, for a little bit there as well. So another successful year for you. Kind of just share with the folks this year at Apollo, and really another banner year for you and the Lady Vikings.
Yes, the girls did a great job this year. We thought we had everybody coming back. We would be pretty good. Didn't think we would get to 19 wins. I thought we'd struggle a little bit more, but they played hard and they did what they had to do. And if we'd had a little bit of height, I think we could have even been better. We had no size.
A lot of size in this one here tonight, certainly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A little have one of these girls. Paul girl's really good. First time I've got to see her in person. She's good. She's very good.
Give me your quick adjustments. If you're the coach for Armstrong, you saw Woodland Hills kind of coming on strong there at the end of that first half. What adjustments would you make, Ray?
Well, you know what? I think everything that they did, that Jimmy was doing, was pretty good. The big girls inside, he has to keep doing what he's doing, double teaming and triple teaming them.
They like to get out and run, though, and that's kind of surprising for the size of this team, the Wolverines,
Yeah.
that is. They've definitely gotten out in the fast break and used that against the Riverhawks here.
Well, my comment was it's probably a good thing that Woodland Hills doesn't have another guard.
Yeah.
If they had one more guard to go with those big girls, I think they could really be good. But Riverhawks are doing what they have to do to win the game, and as long as Paul keeps things under control, I think they're okay.
Yeah, she's
Foul trouble could be something down the road. I don't know where they're at foul-wise, but
yeah, you don't want to see her pick up that third. That's what we were actually talking about right as you were coming up here, Ray. That she picked up two there pretty quickly in that second half, but or later in that first half, excuse me, in the second quarter.
what I worry about with them is getting a charging foul. You always worry about that.
Because she's not afraid to get in there. Her size,
No,
not
I'll
a
tell you
deterrent.
what, she's very impressive. He has a nice bench. He goes to the bench and they do what they have to do.
Good defense there by Yancey, but an even better play on the offensive end there by Vasquez. She's been excellent in the post, knocking down a three as well from this
I
side
kind
here.
of enjoy just coming and watching the game.
Are you trying to get off the microphone? You're allowed. I'm not going to hold you to it.
No, I mean, like I said, hey, this is your gig and you do this thing really well. I enjoy anything you do.
I appreciate you, brother. It's always my pleasure.
Okay, Joe, thanks.
I'll be seeing you soon.
Okay.
We got warm weather, so it's time to golf. Appreciate you, Ray. Thank you. That was Ray Bartha, Apollo Ridge girls head basketball coach. Another trip to the WPIAL playoffs for that gentleman and his team. And up from Spring Church is missed, but a nice job there by Weaver. And Doug, she was a nice piece of the Armstrong equation in that first half, and it seemed like as she kind of tailed off a little bit there, Doug, so did the Riverhawks efficiency.
Yeah, there you had Woodland Hills coming out and getting that first basket here in the second half, Joe, and then Sarai Weaver picks up a foul, so that's the start the Wolverines needed.
Yeah, foul's a theme in that first half, and I'm sure Armstrong would prefer that not be the case here in the second half. Looking at it now, everybody on the court except for
Joe.
Allensworth with a big swat.
Beautiful give and go there by Woodland Hills, but Callie Allensworth rejected, said no. So,
yeah, we've seen some vicious blocks here from both teams in this game, and
Joe.
but right there, wide open, and no one home, and that's why. I think it was a man-to-man defense there. I like starting in a zone there when you're inbounding under the basket like that.
Closest we've had since the beginning of the game, Joe. 32-31, and there's a steal.
And looking to take
And
the
an
lead.
attack.
And fouled. Trying to cut that one off was Yancey, but ends up making contact with Walter. And don't look now, but the Wolverines looking to take their first lead since they were up 4-2. Or last time they were leading, excuse me, Doug, was when they were up 4-2. They had a 4-0 run to start, and then Armstrong, of course, countered that with an 11-0 run, but that's the last time that the Wolverines were this close.
And this is the one girl, Joe, I told you don't want on the foul line because I could tell you she's smooth. She's making all her shots, and that's Yancey's third, Joe.
So she goes out, and Walter knocks down the free throw as Doug kind of predicted there, and
Woodland Hills now first lead of the ball game since early, Joe.
33-32. Who would have saw this when there was about 2 minutes left to play in that second quarter, Doug, and the Riverhawks were up by 13. Fade away there and out of bounds off of, I believe, Mellish. A tough shot there. You see Fitzgerald not going straight up with it. She's definitely a little deterred, I think, from that size of these forwards.
Wow.
And Armstrong now trailing by 1. Give credit to these Wolverines. Nearly a push off there by Walter, but they play on. But give credit to the resiliency of and another nice pass down low. That couldn't have been better. The recipient there was Sierra Guest on an excellent dump in.
Hey, Joe, how about 8-0 to start the third quarter here for Woodland Hills?
And that's not even our best run of the game. It was an 11-0 run by Armstrong in that first quarter. That tops the list, but up by 3 now are the Wolverines. Paul with a 3 of her own, trying to tie it up. No good. Rebounded by
there
Hawkins.
It is, Joe. 2-on-1. Here it comes again.
Back out in transition, as they like to do, and luckily the Armstrong defense getting back just in the nick of time. Now numbers for the Riverhawks. Paul stepping through, and that's exactly what Ray Bartha said a moment ago. He said you don't want to see Paul get that offensive foul on a charge, and Ray Bartha, that's a guy that's been coaching for a while, predicted just that, and that's not a good thing for the Riverhawks here. She's got 3 with 13 minutes, more than 13 minutes to play in this contest, Doug, so she's going to have to be mighty careful here now.
Interesting that Yancey comes back onto the court, Joe, with 3 fouls.
Wow. It's like you need to have one of them out there, I guess, is the message.
Well, they're both out there.
Oh.
Paul and Yancey, both
Wow.
with 3.
Interesting. Now, you don't want to see this one get away, and there's an offensive foul. It's going to go against, I believe that's Guest. Yeah. Sierra Guest gets the foul. She's laughing it off, but definitely kind of put the arms into it a little bit. But the size advantage didn't hurt the look of it.
Everybody likes the acting job, I think, Joe. Woodland Hills players.
Marlo Mellish might be getting a bigger role in the Armstrong play this spring. Paul puts up the 3. It's good. Nothing but net. Emma Paul, that's a great sign for the Riverhawks. She's able to tie it back up. 35 all now with 4:36 remaining.
I believe that's her 4th 3 that I can remember.
It is.
Joe.
Yep. She's really, I think she's only really scored. She has, yeah. Well,
Wow.
oh, Fitzgerald. Her defense coming on. Ooh, nearly a carry there. Yancey's going to put up the 3. Armstrong could really use this one back rim. No good. Tipped away. Give credit to Mellish getting a hand on it. Paul's going to go in the lane. Nearly dragging her foot. And then a turnover. And Deadly in the open court, but missing. And Mellish, how many times have we seen the Armstrong players tonight not be able to corral those balls near the baseline? And that one goes off of Mellish. She'll stay here, but those have been sort of the Armstrong bugaboo under the hoop. And for the Wolverines, they've missed a couple bunnies, so. Oh, another block by Fitzgerald.
And 1.
But they can't get the second attempt, and that's what's really burnt these Riverhawks. You get the block, you really hope you can get the deflection off of it. Instead, Hope Hawkins staying with the play, gets the deflection, puts it up, she's fouled, and gets the bucket to go, and we'll look to make it a 3-point Armstrong advantage, Doug.
Yeah, this is just shake your head. There's another one, Joe.
And why
Just
did
shake your head?
Why did you swat that one?
Right.
There was no one there. You didn't need to tip it out to an imaginary person. Because I don't know how you didn't see that no one was there. But again, this Armstrong just trying to. I don't like using this term too much, but trying to be too cute almost. It's just grab the basketball, in an instance like that. Paul trying to swipe that one away, but the Riverhawks do deter the shot. Don't draw a foul. Again, you're seeing Woodland Hills kind of having their way getting to the basket here, Doug. That's kind of what's jumping out at me here so far in this third quarter.
Yeah, they just attack that basket. Look at this.
Another dump inside, but Fitzgerald able to get a hand on it. Another pass.
That's steps, Joe. Not
Everybody
ball.
gave up on the play. No one.
Yeah, that was a travel.
It's a travel, but you can't stop. Everybody just stopped and allowed that third opportunity. Again, how many times have we talked about not even just second chance opportunities, but third and fourth chances, and that's really just going to burn you. And a travel against Emma Paul. And things kind of unraveling right now for the Riverhawks, trailing by 4. That's their largest the deficit they've faced. The first time they've done so since the game was 4-0, Doug.
Joe, I don't even want to tell you what the scoring is this quarter.
Well, if folks are good at simple math out there, I don't think you need to tell them.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let it be a mystery here till the end, but Woodland Hills now up 4.
With 2:54 left and another dump inside. Good defense by Fitzgerald, but they get the ball once again. In the lane, little runner up off the glass, no good. Wouldn't you know it, a third chance opportunity. But at least Yancey's able to get a hand on the basketball, but boy, oh boy. It's not even just second chance opportunities, Doug. It's third and fourth, and that's just been the story of this third quarter.
Offensive rebounds are just ridiculous.
And you could say there's maybe a little bit of a size advantage for Woodland Hills, but you saw there were 2 players in the vicinity of where that basketball is. They're following and they're reading where that's going to come off the rim. They're crashing. That's just something you're not seeing from Armstrong here in this third quarter. What a nice pass is Allensworth, the recipient of another nice backdoor pass from Emma Paul. The Riverhawks really needed that.
Yeah, Emma Paul 1 step ahead. You know, you like to say she's playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers, Joe.
Double team kicked out, back rim, no good. And a pile of 4 people nearly coming away with it was Vasquez, but somehow the Riverhawks, able to corral it. Long corner, Mellish with it now, reversal to Yancey. 1:50 left in this very compelling third quarter.
It's going to be a nail biter, Joe.
Paul. And you don't see her airball shots. You have to wonder, are they saying that was deflected? And I'll give credit to Paul. She can be a little animated when she's not happy with what's going on out there, but she's been pretty tight-lipped. But you can still read it on her face. She's not getting some of the calls that she thinks she should be.
Wow, nice crossover.
And a reach in, just over-anticipating. You don't need to be guarding so tightly, I think, and over-anticipating the basketball when you're, 5-6 steps outside the arc?
Well, Joe, we talked about, I said one of my keys, don't foul. Armstrong at 5, Woodland only at 1. So, that doesn't bode well for the fourth quarter.
No, it does not, and that's a trend that, Doug, is continuing from the first half for Armstrong. Both teams kind of suffering from the turnover bug, but as you mentioned, Woodland Hills able to kind of get that under control. Up to the lane, and Fitzgerald swatted it. Yeah, and that's what, and the referee's laughing because trying to explain that to him is Wilson, but the ref kind of telling her no. But you saw we had kind of a good angle on it, Doug. Stepping in the lane, and Armstrong, how you're not able to just come up with that basketball. You had 2 players in the middle of that passing lane.
It's getting physical down there, Joe. Both these teams, I told you, they're scrappy, and it's getting rough. The refs are going to have to take control of this, and they're going to call more fouls. That's what's going to happen.
This one thrown inside, but give credit to the Riverhawks. Good defense on the inbounds pass. And it's back to the home team here with 1:09 left, 39-37 your score. And Doug, you pointed this out in the second quarter, and I'd like to kind of go back to it. If you look at the scoring right now for Woodland Hills,
yep.
8, 7, 11.
Impressive, Joe.
That's balance if there's ever been balance. Meanwhile, on Armstrong's side, you see 15, 3, 2, and 4. And I don't need to tell you who the 15's from. It's that young lady who just drove to the basket and was fouled, Emma Paul.
And, another key point in this game, Sarai Weaver was putting in all those points, Joe, and she got that foul, and she hasn't been in since. So let's not forget to mention that point in this game, because when she left the court, things changed.
Ooh, nice fake out there by Yancey. Here's Fitzgerald, and the block up and good. Nice move by Kyla Fitzgerald to draw the foul, gets it to go, so she's going to have a chance at her second and 1 of this contest.
Kyla's going to go left, Joe. And
yeah.
That time the girl bit when she did that fake to the right.
Which is, I think, just the subtle advantage of being a left-hander playing basketball, because you're always kind of naturally going to over-anticipate that left side, knowing that 9 out of 10 times, if not more, you're facing somebody who's right-handed and wants to go that way. So no good on the free throw. So We're all tied up 39 all with 49 seconds to play here in quarter number 3, setting up for what will be inevitably a final 8 minutes of epic proportions here, Doug.
I think this is smart basketball, Joe. See, Yancey
Wow.
has 3 fouls. She was just exploited there.
But you know what? You can't. I think you hold your whistle there because the players dribbling with their head down into a crowd of Riverhawks. They don't even know where they're going at that point. We talked about that. That counts as being kind of out of control to me.
Yeah. And now that's her 4th. I mean.
So yeah,
16 fouls too.
So yeah, the Wolverines will be shooting for the remainder of this game. Ooh. No home court advantage here, I'll say, for Armstrong in terms of getting calls, Doug.
No. And you know what? None of these officials are calling travels. What do I remember? 1 travel in this game, maybe?
Paul with the steal gets it to Fitzgerald, who puts it up in transition, and the Riverhawks back up by 2.
Oh, my.
But out in front of the D, again, no good. Lucky are the Riverhawks that they didn't get burnt once more by Wilson. But somehow, some way, they end this 3rd quarter with an advantage after falling behind by 4. Doug, you had some totals there, I think you were mentioning, for the 3rd quarter.
Here, Joe. Okay, Woodland Hills wins that quarter 12-9, Joe. But Armstrong leading on the scoreboard now 41-39. So that was Woodland has now won the last 2 quarters.
My big takeaway, it's your first quarter coming out of the break, Doug, and Woodland Hills is still doing the things that they want to be doing. They're still doing the things that they were able to do in that first half, and towards the end of that first half that made them successful and brought them back within 5 points. The score that the Riverhawks were leading by coming into this half. So, still getting it down low. Their bigs certainly making their presence felt, but they're getting it out in transition, Doug. They want to run, and that's, I talked to you about it. We had a chance to talk to Ray Bartha about it during halftime. Typically you're not going to see a team that's so predicated on getting it down into their bigs, also being a team that wants to get it out and play up-tempo transition type basketball game.
Yeah.
Those are the teams that want to play in half court,
Oh, I know. Woodland can do it all here, Joe. They're 11-11 overall, but I looked at their schedule, and they started the year, Joe, I believe, like 1-7.
Wow.
So, I mean, they've really been playing good ball here, and they're showing Armstrong that they're here to play. This could go either way, Joe. Woodland Hills shooting the rest of the game.
Think about it. Armstrong was on pace to score. I think they finished with 19 in that first quarter.
Yeah.
They've barely doubled that total over the 2 quarters since.
Wow.
And a big block there by Guest. You got that trio for Woodland Hills. It's very similar to what Armstrong has in terms of Fitzgerald and Allensworth and Sarai Weaver, but I'll tell you what, the triumphant of Hawkins, Guest, and Vasquez, very lethal. Paul with a deep 3, rattles around, barely missing that one, but Allensworth gets it. Armstrong set up the offense, screened by Allensworth, nothing doing.
Nice second chance opportunity here for the Riverhawks.
One of the rare second chance opportunities, and did that go off of Mellish?
No, I think she just threw it out of bounds.
Jeez, so didn't really need to get that deep. But nevertheless, the Wolverines with the basketball, 7. Oh, excuse me, Doug. Nice step through again. Oh, almost getting it to go again was Wilson. She is just nifty, but
travel. Finally, they called it. Jeez, Joe, I've seen a lot of walking out here.
Yeah,
first one it was called.
But Armstrong nearly getting burned again, giving up the basketball. It's just not getting the defensive boards tonight are the Riverhawks after that first missed shot. But not really capitalizing sometimes are these Wolverines. You called it volleyball earlier. Oh, Mellish was open there.
Look at the defense.
Whoa. Bella Yancey puts up the 3, front rim, no good. Follows her shot, puts it up off the glass, nearly getting another one. The ball tipped out.
Here they come.
And look, 3 players out in front.
And Paul can't foul. Wow.
That one brought in by Paul. Wow, indeed.
Very fortunate there, Joe.
But you see how quickly they get out. Oh, what a step through by Paul, and it's good.
Wow.
That's a foul on the floor by Fitzgerald, Doug. But
Joe, they attack that basket.
Yeah.
Armstrong scores 2 to 3 seconds. They're shooting.
well,
Unbelievable.
And not to mention that last fast break when they had the 3-on-1 where Paul nearly drew that foul. 2 of the people out in that fast break were their forwards. Who were behind the play and just have the hustle and the.
This is girls basketball. This is not boys basketball. Boys, you see that sort of thing. And girls, this is a rare thing we're seeing, how quick they attack.
No good on the free throw. The score remains 43-39. 6 minutes left in quarter number 4. It's been an interesting game here, to say the least. Both teams showing the kind of play that would warrant a shot in the next round in the quarterfinals, but
double. Yep. So they wait all game, Joe, and now we're going to start calling travels.
I'll probably have High Top Sports Network on in their ear. They heard our call, and yeah, maybe we should. That's it. It's been very back and forth. Both teams showing streaks of just dominance over their opponent in this game, and that's a foul. Oh, it's an offensive foul. I thought there was going to be a foul against the home Riverhawks, but going against number 3. So that's going to go against Kayla Walter, the terrific guard. Very strong free throw shooter for the Wolverines.
Yep.
So 4-point lead for Armstrong. You almost wonder with how much this game has kind of swayed, how they're even up by 4 at this point, Doug.
It's a crazy game. Oh, that's a travel. Yep.
And turnovers, that's been a
again, Joe, the entire game, I even commented on it, that no one's calling traveling. And now in the fourth quarter, I think we've seen it 4 or 5 times.
I feel like we've seen it that many times in the last, 2 minutes of this game. As we near the 5-minute mark. Armstrong back up in front by 4. They trailed by 4 in that third quarter. After
another one. See, that's another one. See, that was a travel.
Well, I think you'd rather take the offensive foul, as the case was there. Good job by Mellish to draw it. Just kept those feet planted. And that's what happens when you don't leave your feet, and you're in the post. Your instincts, tell you, especially when you're the shorter player, to try to go up and make contact. But Mellish doing the smart thing there, keeping her feet and drawing the charge as a result, Doug. I want to thank again our sponsors tonight. This particular case, I want to thank our scoreboard sponsor, Clunan and Associates. CPA consulting, audit, and tax firm right there in Ford City. Again, it's tax season, and make sure you support the folks that are supporting your young ones and allowing us to broadcast this WPIAL playoff game, and that is, of course, today's scoreboard sponsor, Clunan and Associates. Thanks to the fine folks at Clunan Associates.
Joe, I want to give a shout out to the Riverhawk hockey team, Joe. If they can win Thursday, they will win the conference, and they will be the number 1 seed going into the WPIAL playoffs.
Yeah.
So, we broadcast them on High Top as well, and they're going to have their big playoff run coming up.
Yeah, this team, shades of 2018 with this Armstrong squad. Built kind of the same way, deep, strong play in net. Josh Reckengoss can speak to that. To my left, he's seen a lot of the Riverhawks this year. And again, Armstrong, you're to the point now where you have to kind of force, and you can kind of see that was probably what they discussed during that break. You force
travel. They're going to call foul, Joe. That's going to be Emma's 4th.
Wow. If you're Emma, you need to just that's an interesting call. But if I'm Coach Caliper here, I'm probably going to a zone defense just because I think that mitigates the possibility of picking up that 5th here.
Woodland Hill's well skilled there at trying to draw a charge. That was not a charge. That was a travel.
But I concur, but
still, they were able to bait the official into calling that.
And I think what Coach Cal was, what he told the team there during that stoppage is a nice little step back, and it's good. What a pretty shot there by Walter. And the Wolverines back within 2, 4 minutes, 10 seconds remain, fourth quarter. But what I was saying, not to be in a hurry. If the lane's there or shot's there, then by all means take it. But Walter puts her hands out. That was definitely a foul. I always love that. I probably did that too. You probably did that too when you played.
Absolutely. Talk about that bounce, Joe. Look at that Woodland Hills side. 11, 10, 8, 7.
Gotta love that, and that's that's a luxury to have when it comes when it's this time of year, because when you're too reliant on one player, and said player maybe isn't having the best game, then you're at the mercy of what kind of day they're having.
Big shot.
No good.
And they come.
And if they get out, you saw them leaking out. Great diagonal passing, and it leads to another bucket in transition for number 4, Jalen Wilson. And again, you see them. As soon as they see that ball, they're out and running.
And that time, Emma was the only one back. She has 4 fouls. She has to basically just let them go.
Yeah, you almost want to.
Oh, look at them try to draw it, Joe. Turnover.
43 all, 3:25 left here. And boy, oh boy, this one's shaping up to be just an instant classic.
Don't be surprised if Woodland Hills goes and tries to attack Emma with those 4 fouls, Joe.
Whew.
Oh, big mismatch here.
You saw it on that last possession, Doug. That was certainly what was happening there.
There it is.
Up off
Knew
the
it was coming, Joe. Big mismatch.
Again, I this is why I would definitely maybe move to a zone, and then Coach Caliper will call the timeout. But Doug, I think this is an opportunity to switch to that zone. They want to drive the basketball. I think a 2-3 zone kind of keeps your best players safe. You have Yancey with 3 fouls. You have Paul with 4. If you're playing those two at the top, like I imagine you would, you run less of a risk of getting those players, drawing a foul, and then you're also. It's pretty darn clear, I think, at this stage of the game what Woodland Hills wants to do. They want to get to the basket, and they've done a good job of it here so far. And really, Armstrong, no answer. So, just curious how else you can do it at this stage, because if you were going to do it with the man-to-man, it would have been done already.
That was a good timeout, Joe. The Armstrong needed a timeout right there, and I hope he does go a possession or two to zone, because he's got Yancey now back on the court with 4, and he's got Emma with 4.
Yancey, I think so.
She has 4.
Oh, does she? Wow. So you're basically your top 2 guards, 1 foul away from having to sit out of this one. And like I said there, Doug, I just think when you play that zone, you you'd obviously have those 2 up top. You run a much less of a risk of those 2 picking up that foul. So we shall see. The Riverhawks with the basketball, trailing by 2. Came into this quarter leading by 4.
There we go.
Paul with the basketball. Again, Walter with some great defense all night. Paul up off the glass, and good. Tough angle there by Emma Paul. The soft touch off the glass gets it to go. 45 all. 2:29 left in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, good English there by Emma.
Fitzgerald with a huge block.
I think that was Sarai Weaver, I believe.
Oh, was it?
I think. Sarai, by the way, back into the game now, Joe. She had 3 fouls.
Yeah, she took an extended stay on the bench.
Another block. That's Fitzgerald that time. Number of blocks in this game. This has to be a record, Joe.
Yeah, Fitzgerald, just the anticipation there. Excellent job. No way that Walter was going to get that shot off with a double team nonetheless. Shot from around the free throw line. Wow. Brought in another offensive board. 3. Chance by Vasquez. It's good. A huge shot and another second chance opportunity for Woodland Hills, who now lead by 3 with 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Armstrong was leading by as many as 13 with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. They now trail by 3 and have, I think it's fair to say, have not been the aggressor here in the second half. That has been the team in black. So the foul will send Fitzgerald to the line for the 1-and-1. That was not in the act of shooting, so she'll she's only promised one if she misses it. So
big shot here for Fitzgerald. You know, she missed earlier in this game, Joe. Down 3, a minute 45 to play.
Shot by Fitzgerald, up and good. High arcing shot, finding the bottom of the twine. Armstrong now down by 2. 1:45 left. The home team on the ropes now. You have a 2-point deficit along with two of your, certainly I'd say your two best guards, one foul away from having to take a seat for the remainder of the contest. Only making one of two there was Fitzgerald. So now the Wolverines with the basketball, 1:36 left, 2-point advantage, and a timeout called by Woodland Hills.
Another good timeout by the Woodland Hills coach, Joe.
Yeah, basically, what do you think he's telling his team here, Doug? 'Cause I think I might have an idea, but what would you say is the message here in this timeout?
We're up 2. We're going to take care of the basketball and make them foul us. And we're going to attack the 2 girls that have 4 fouls.
So thank Olson Chiropractic for all your chiropractic care needs. Dr. Ryan Olson, your go-to in West Katanning. Also would like to take an opportunity to thank Bradigans Incorporated and the car guard system. Josh Schreckengoss to my left, an avid car guard guy. Just staring off into the abyss.
Oh, my.
Well, Josh is about 10 seconds behind us, or like 45 seconds behind us, so he'll hear it once he. But just looking off, like it was like if I would have taken a portrait of that and I put like a beachy background to it, it would have been just incredible. Your mom would have loved that for her birthday. It was last week.
You know, Joe, I set the line on this game at 5.
You did. I like how you were able to set lines so accurately for high school games.
It's amazing.
That's a true skill.
It is amazing.
But yeah, thank you to Bradigans Incorporated again for their support here tonight. Make sure you check out the car guard system. It's a nice little thing to have this time of year. Cold weather, just pop in there and fill it up and be efficient.
Smart to let Walter dribble the ball, right, Joe? I told you she's that good foul shooter.
And look at that isolation. You know, there's you saw Wilson gesturing. She wanted that ball down low, but at this point, you don't need the points.
Right.
And you called it, Doug. There's.
Yep. Here they come, the double team.
I know Mel should get off the hands of the Riverhawks.
Scramble, Joe.
We've seen it so many times tonight, just unable.
Oh, my God.
And a travel,
What
Doug.
a call, Joe. What a call.
Wow. At times in this game, it's resembled a game of pinball, Doug, more than it's resembled basketball. And another instance right there.
What a huge call in this game. Here we go, Joe.
Throw inside. And Fitzgerald unable to finish. Jim Caliber is incensed.
That's Yancey's 5th, I believe, Joe. Yep. She's fouled out.
So Olivia Yancey.
What?
Oh, no, 3rd. It's going to go against
What did they call that on?
either 12 or 25, it looks like, Doug. That would be Fitzgerald or either of the forwards out there right now, either Fitzgerald or Sarai Weaver. Didn't get to see exactly who. 12. So it's against Kyla Fitzgerald, her 3rd.
Huge foul shot here.
Up and good, Vasquez. Ice water makes it a 3-point Wolverine lead, and she can make it a 2-possession game here and almost virtually, not to say lock it in, but loose ball. That's going to stay here with the Wolverines. Doug.
49 seconds, Joe. I'm in disbelief of what I'm seeing here. Don't let Walter get the ball.
Anybody but her, really, at this point. And Mellish, not able to keep up, and time's ticking away. Cross-court pass.
No, they're not shooting. No way they're shooting.
38 seconds. Disciplined play there by the Wolverines, who are just
got a foul, Armstrong.
Evading these Riverhawks defenders.
My.
Time ticking away, and Fitzgerald will pick up her 4th foul. I believe that's her 4th.
Yep.
So the
double bonus, Joe, by the way.
So now I'd say your senior and your 2 top juniors all now with 4 fouls. And of course, Kyla Fitzgerald just picking up the 4th there. And Emma Paul sitting on 4. And that poor free throw shooting early on by the Wolverines, not the case now. Doug taking advantage of these trips to the charity stripe are the Woodland Hills shooters.
Going to be tough now, Joe. It's 2 possessions, 29 seconds.
Absolutely, and
Wow.
And then when you drain that too, because one of these needs to be a 3-point attempt. Paul quickly down, going to drive it the length of the court, and that one's swatted away and tracked down. It's going to stay here with the Riverhawks, but Paul just trying to get something to happen, or something to go here quickly. And a timeout taken, Doug. And we have this timeout. I'd like to thank another one of our sponsors for tonight's basketball game. And of course, Shop and Save at Franklin Village. I'm going to need to refuel and more than just gasoline, but what better place to go to get some grub and refuel and then also fuel up your car than Franklin Village Shop and Save. They have the fuel perks system there. And again, they are open 24 hours a day, so don't feel like Sheetz is your only stop, place to get gas late. You also have Franklin Village Shop and Save. So check them out today. And again, great food. It's a great combination.
Oh, absolutely.
Doug, your thoughts? I'm just watching you over there. It's like a emotional roller coaster even for you.
I'm sick.
Face.
I'm sick to my stomach, Joe. What I've watched here in the second half.
I think the biggest thing, again, I said this, Doug, not too long into the third quarter, that the things that Woodland Hills, as that was a maneuver, but the things that Woodland Hills wanted to do and the things that you would think would be limited in the second half only continued. And if not only just continued, Doug, they continued even more.
Yeah.
Getting buckets in transition. How many of those fouls for the Riverhawks have been on those fast break attempts by Woodland Hills? That was never alleviated. Too many 3-chance opportunities, Doug. We're not just talking about second chance. We're talking about third, fourth chances. Yeah. And that's really been, I think, what's led to things getting to this point. And that's going to go off of Vasquez and out of bounds. So Riverhawks getting lucky on that one. But, it's a tall task here, down by 5 with 20 seconds left. And doing a good job switching there defensively. Paul's going to try to put that one up. Fitzgerald just throws it up off the glass. Not sure why, but that pretty much spells it for the Riverhawks, Doug. With 14 seconds left, Jim Caliper will call a timeout.
The keys we said at the half, Joe, what needed to happen, and Woodland Hills just poured it on.
Wow. And give credit to them. I said this once they made that run. They were down by 13, Doug, with just over 2 minutes to play in the second quarter. And by the time they headed there, they were heading to the locker room. They were down by just 4, I want to say. Yeah. 4 or 5.
It was 32-27 at the half.
There you go. So 32-27, you have a 5-point. And you did that within, just barely a 2-minute span. So that momentum, to answer my question at halftime, could they carry that momentum over? Yes. The answer is yes, Doug.
Well, Joe, they're going to, at this point, they have won every quarter except for the first quarter, if this holds true. So after that first quarter, it's been all Wolverines. And if this is how it ends for the Riverhawks in 2022-2023, which it certainly looks like it will be, Doug, a sour way for it to end. Oh, there's a steal, Joe!
Up off the glass.
Timeout.
Good.
All right.
So I think Doug said that loud enough that they might have thought that was Coach Caliper that called it, but a little glimmer of hope now, Doug. You got to basically hope you can get a turnover here because you figure even if you foul here and you get the ball at the other end of the court, you're going to not have might not have a clean look with 7 seconds, but
got to have a turnover here, Joe. You got to deny the inbound pass. Don't let them get it in. If they do get it in, it's an automatic foul. But you got to try to create a turnover, create a steal, and hit a 3. Yeah, I got dizzy watching that one.
Yeah, man, that makes my head hurt.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. We're battling now.
It's like the movie Stomp the Yard. Doug, a big fan of the movie Stomp the Yard?
No, I've never seen that one. Well, I was thinking more of Bring It On, Joe.
We were a big fan of that, too. I was just going to get to that one.
That one was so good they did 2 of them.
They did. I'm surprised you didn't comment on my me looking like a bottle of calamine lotion today, Doug. I wore what you can't call it pink and you can't call it purple. It's literally like a bottle of calamine lotion.
See, Joe, I went on Riverhawk here. Nice black.
Yeah, nothing like pandering, you know. We got our friends from Woodland Hills out there listening. We certainly appreciate them tuning in. We went to their facility earlier this year. I got to go there and cover a boys basketball game, and they were tremendous to me over there. And love that facility. A great little venue to do a game. But here we go.
Here we go, Joe.
7 seconds left. Inbounded. Trap. Oh, whistle. That's an early whistle.
Joe!
An early whistle there. And as a result, the 1-1. Wow.
No, there was a lot of ball there, Joe. That could have been a jump.
I mean, the only thing that I can say is that he had a better view from that far side than we had here. Maybe somebody was fouling from the backside that we weren't able to see there, Doug. But from our vantage point, it looked like it was a tie-up.
Double bonus.
And Drano, ice water once again for Jalen Wilson. And Doug, in so many facets of this game, you saw Woodland Hills turn it around almost completely. You know, we talked about that poor free throw shooting in that first quarter, the only quarter they lost. And here they are draining them at the most pivotal part of this game. And once again, just take a look at the scoreboard.
Yep.
8, 10, 12, and 17-point scorers on the court right now. If you would get a bucket from Hope Hawkins, which a lot of times she's probably their leading scorer, if she was able to get a bucket right now, you would have 4 players in double figures just out in the court. And I want to say there was somebody else who was darn near double figures as well for this team, if I'm not mistaken, Doug.
How about this one, Joe? Look at the Armstrong side. There's a common number up there in the foul column. Check it out.
Wow.
4, 4, 4, and 4.
Well, if you're,
you can't.
Marlo Mellish, you're in good shape, but that's.
You can't foul like that, Joe.
Wait, so no, who's number 1?
Yeah, that's Mellish.
No, she's not out there. They didn't switch it around. It's Di Gregorio in instead.
Makes them both.
So that makes it a 5-point lead with 5 seconds left. Virtually impossible. Ball ahead. Paul's going to put up a shot from way deep. No good. And Woodland Hills comes into Armstrong, is able to upset the Riverhawks in the first round. What a resilient, strong effort from the Wolverines, who at points in time looked like they were just outmatched. But a nice little run at the end of the first half, carried over into the second half, and it was really all Woodland Hills over the final 16 minutes, Doug.
Final fourth quarter tallies, Joe. Woodland Hills 14, Armstrong 7. So Woodland Hills wins 19-13, 12-9, and 14-7 in the final 3 quarters.
So give me what was the second half scoring breakdown there if you just did the second half?
26-16.
So they outscored them by 10 in that second half. And
Joe, they were down 5 at the half. They won by 5. And what was my spread again? I can't remember. What did I say?
It was 5, Doug. The other way, though.
I know.
But, yeah, that's certainly a sour way for things to end for Armstrong. Especially the way they've been playing, Doug, down the stretch, playing their best basketball, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast. They were peaking at the time that you want your team to be, finding their stride. But 2 is the case for Woodland Hills. You mentioned that they had a nice stretch over the final slate of games in the regular season. But really, 2 things, if I had to say, that jump out to me. The transition game. You had a team that really predicated when they played the half-court game of getting it and dumping it down low. If there was an open lane there, they were going to throw it down there, whether it was Hope Hawkins or whether it was Sierra Guest or Cameron Vasquez. If any of those 3 girls had any position on the block, they were going to get it down to them. But those same players, this same team that was running their offense through their forwards weren't afraid to get those same girls out and fast break the Riverhawks all night long, and they did that. Yep. And no answer for it. That's one thing I was looking for out of the Riverhawks in the half, and it continued till the very final moments of this game. That the outlet man they were kind of leaking out a little bit, and nobody was getting back on defense for Armstrong, and too many easy opportunities as a result for Woodland Hills, who is victorious here and will move on to play in the quarterfinal round now. I think the top seed side of the bracket there, Doug, is
South Fayette is the 1 seed.
well, yeah, but it's
They will
Trinity.
get the winner of Trinity Latrobe, Joe.
So Armstrong, their revenge tour, short-lived,
Yeah.
and they didn't get it against Woodland Hills, that's for sure. So again, disappointing way for things to conclude here in what really was shaping up to be a nice little run down the stretch for Armstrong. Ends here tonight at the hands of Woodland Hills. We have to name our Nicola Ann Photography. I want to thank Nicola Ann Photography, a great photographer in this area, rated one of the top photographers by the Post-Gazette. She's our player of the game sponsor, Doug. I mean, this might be the hardest player of the game to have to do. Because we picked Woodland Hills, there are so many people on that team that are worthy.
Balanced.
You could say that they had their best player change from quarter to quarter.
Yeah. Such great team basketball, I mean, by Woodland Hills.
Doug, I'm going to, it's going to be, we pointed at the scoreboard there at the end. You had 4 scores, in double figures, and you had one with 8.
Yeah.
And that one player, I think, was the most disruptive tonight. That was Hope Hawkins. So she didn't lead in the scoring, but I think the attention that she grabbed and garnered really just opened up things for their guards and the other players around her, Doug. So tonight's Nicola Ann Photography player of the game is, it'll be number 1, Hope Hawkins, the junior forward for Woodland Hills, who now will either face Latrobe or Trinity in the quarterfinal round.
They're not going to be an easy out, Joe.
No, they're not.
They have the size. They attack the paint. They're well coached.
In your life, Doug, name the number of teams that predicate their offense around playing down low and trying to dump it down low, who also are that good at fast breaking and getting out and getting out in transition like that.
I told you that was the most impressive thing I saw tonight. Armstrong scores at one end. 2 to 3 seconds later, Woodland Hills is getting fouled or scoring.
On a 3-on-1 somehow.
Unbelievable.
Because I want to say at least 2 of Emma Paul's fouls. She got in foul trouble there late, but at least 2 of those fouls were her being the only person back on defense.
Yeah.
And that's not a recipe for success when you have 3 Woodland Hills players bearing down on you. So
keep your eyes posted on Woodland Hills. I'll be very interested to see how they do next round, Joe.
I will too, and certainly enjoyed watching them play tonight. It's a brand of basketball I can get down on because you're getting out and going and you're playing a little inside, playing a little outside, showing that bigs can run the floor.
And that balance, Joe, that balance is tough to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. A very impressive performance tonight by the Woodland Hills Wolverines, who are victorious on the road at the Hawks Nest here at Armstrong Junior Senior High School.
I believe their next game is Thursday, Joe, I believe.
I believe you're correct. I was going to say either Thursday or Saturday, but I do think it is Thursday. But the hoops action will continue here on High Top Sports Network. We'll be making a nice little journey out to the District 6 land.
A nice journey, the other end of District 6 land.
Yeah, Josh and myself will be heading to West Branch tomorrow to do a little District 6 boys basketball between the West Shamokin Wolves and the West Branch Warriors. That'll be on High Top Sports Network. So if you are bored looking for some hoops to watch, we usually have that for you, as we pretty much have a game on every day except for like Christmas, I think. That's about it.
Joe, it's almost spring sports season. We got a lot of other action coming up here.
We certainly do, and it's been past couple springs here on High Top Sports Network have certainly been eventful for us. Our summers didn't start until July, thanks to a team around here, Doug, that decided to go to back-to-back state championships. You know anything about this?
I've heard of them. I don't know.
And the Riverhawks lining up to possibly get back to that this year. So expected to be an eventful spring here on High Top Sports Network, as we will cover the Riverhawks and several other teams in this area here in Armstrong County and beyond. So, Doug, final thoughts. Kind of give me your synopsis of the 22-23 Armstrong girls basketball team.
Well, this is what I always like to say. The last game of your season does not define what you did during the entire season, Joe. That is now a 19-4 basketball team. That's a heck of a season.
I want to know where that ranks in terms of win percentage all time for them. It's got to be up there.
Co-section champs. They're going to hang a banner.
Yep. First such girls basketball section title.
I mean, I know it was a tough night. It was a tough night. I'm not going to say it wasn't, but just remember that the last game does not define your season. Okay?
Yeah.
So.
Yep, these are those games where you don't want to take your jersey off, and you see some players obviously upset over the result. But a couple of these players, and probably Liv Yancey being one of them, is going to probably sit there and let that uniform stay on a little bit longer tonight.
Liv Yancey, Mackenzie Flick, the two seniors. They're going to represent Armstrong at the Cager Classic, Joe, so that's a nice little touch for them. The juniors and underclassmen, there's a lot more basketball to be played here at Armstrong. So hopefully it gets them a little, makes them hungry for next season.
Yep, and a nice cast of characters returning for the Riverhawks, including that young lady who's about to be at center court, Emma Paul. She'll be back along with the entire forward group that really helped this team get to that 19-4 mark you mentioned, Doug.
Yep.
So that'll about do it. We thank you again for tuning in. You have a lot of ways to spend your time, but you keep coming back and spend it with us here on High Top Sports Network and the Triple F High School Sports Network. So we thank you for that. Thank our sponsors once again. Clunan and Associates, AIA Armstrong Indoor Athletics. Margarita's tonight's official broadcast partner, and you better bet your bottom dollar that Doug's going to be heading there probably after this.
That puts a smile on my face.
Yeah,
as soon as you say Margaritas.
Margaritas, we thank them so much for their support on High Top Sports Network, Margaritas Grill and Bar. Also thank Bradigan's. Got to get gas on the way home? Go to their car guard system. Hope you have it. If you don't, go get it. I also want to thank Shop and Save at Franklin Village. A great place to grab some grub and other things as well. So we thank all the fantastic people at Franklin Village Shop and Save. Jim up there, big supporter of High Top Sports Network and our local student athletes. I also want to thank Dr. Ryan Olson, Olson Chiropractic in West Katanning. And last but not least, Ryan Bowser State Farm. Like a good neighbor, Ryan Bowser State Farm is there. Well, that about does it. Doug Flanders, this might be the last game we do basketball-wise for 2022, 2023. It felt really fast.
Yeah.
But fun nonetheless. Thank you for all your efforts and bringing your zest into the High Top.
I enjoy it, Joe. I enjoy it. I love working with you guys.
We love it, too. We appreciate you. Josh, you'll hear from us tomorrow as we make our journey to West Branch for some District 6 boys basketball. So one final time for Doug Flanders. My name is Joe Rhodes. You have a great rest of your week, and may no train pass you by. We'll see you.